Have you ever found yourself in the same relationship conflict over and over again? The same argument in your marriage, the same tension with your kids, the same frustration with a parent or coworker? Sometimes the problem isn't just the moment we're in, it's the pattern we've created. Hi, I'm Carrie with Capernaum Care, and today I want to talk about discernment in relationships, recognizing the patterns that are developing and deciding whether those patterns are leading a relationship in the direction you want them to go. Galatians 6:7 says that a man reaps what he sows, and that principle applies to our relationships. What we repeatedly put into a relationship often produces predictable results, and those results are either desired or undesired. So think about that for a moment. If every disagreement ends with yelling or withdrawal or becoming defensive or the silent treatment, eventually that becomes a pattern. So if one person continually criticizes while the other one continually shuts down, that is a pattern. If we avoid difficult conversations, resentment can grow. But the opposite is also true. When we consistently communicate with honesty, listen, show respect, extend forgiveness, and address the problem instead of avoiding them, those behaviors can create healthier patterns. That's where discernment becomes important. Discernment isn't about judging someone or assuming the worst. It's about paying attention to what is happening and asking what pattern is being created here and where is this pattern leading us? Because we can't change other people. We can encourage, we can communicate, we can establish boundaries, and we can love someone well, but we cannot control another person's heart or make them change. What we can do is examine our own response and our own participation in the pattern. With God's help, we can make different choices. So maybe instead of reacting, you pause. And instead of avoiding the conversation, you have it. Instead of continually rescuing someone from their consequences of their choices, you allow healthy boundaries. And sometimes discernment means recognizing a pattern that has become toxic and deciding that you will no longer participate in it. Biblical love doesn't mean enabling unhealthy or destructive patterns. Sometimes loving someone means establishing those boundaries and refusing to participate in what is harmful. And you may ask, but what if they don't ever change? So healthy boundaries aren't there as punishment. They're about recognizing what is healthy, what isn't, and what you are responsible for changing. So our responsibility is to be faithful to what God has called us to do. And we can't control another person's response, but with God's help, we can change the way that we respond and the patterns we participate in. So think about this. What do you want your relationships to look like? What do you want your marriage to look like? What kind of relationship do you want with your children or parents or coworkers? And take a moment and think about the patterns that exist in those relationships right now. Are they producing the results that you desire? And if not, we have a tendency to ask, well, how do we get them to change? The right question is, what can I change about the way I respond or the way I communicate, or how am I participating in this pattern? So you won't be able to change the other person, but you can change the pattern that you're contributing to. And sometimes one healthy change can begin to influence an entire relationship. So if you're struggling to understand patterns in your relationships, or you want help developing healthier ways to communicate and respond, visit the Capernaum Care page to learn more about our professional, Christ-centered counseling and relationship education resources. And remember, discernment helps us recognize the pattern, and wisdom that we talked about last week helps us to decide what to do with it. And then healthy choices can help create a different outcome. So thank you for watching as we continue to grow and heal and build healthier relationships and influence relationships for Christ.